Welcome back to another year of the Riverside Township Radio Players, bringing you some of the best programs from the golden age of radio. It's hard to believe that we're starting our 15th season since the proposal first came to our founder, the late John Gelsomino. We've basically followed the same format with cast members coming and going, but I must say that this bunch we have now is wonderful to work with. Our two rehearsals are always very structured and very serious. But we do hope to entertain you with good memories of years gone past. This year will be one of only one change. We will be rotating the position of directorship, with each of us taking turns throughout the season. There are many talents among us, and it's only fair to share these with you. I'm privileged to present September's opening show, that of two very diverse plays, one a drama and the other a comedy. We shall begin with The Spiral Staircase, a radio version of a chilling movie that was presented by the Screen Directors Playhouse, one of the several programs that showcased popular movies of the day. Others were the Screen Guild Theater and, of course, Lux Radio Theater, always highlighting famous stars and promoting their next picture. Today, they call it marketing, I'm sure, but then it was always exciting to hear the voices come directly into your living room. We didn't have dens then, did we? We had living rooms. So you remember the plot of this story, that of a young girl who suddenly becomes unable to speak because of a traumatic event in her life. I won't give away the ending. You'll have to tune in to see what happens. So let's gather round and dial into our local NBC station as the announcer will start.
From Hollywood, the Screen Directors Playhouse. Screen Directors Playhouse. Star, Dorothy McGuire. Production, Spiral Staircase. Director, Robert Siodmak. The Hollywood Screen Directors present a play on silent words, the motion picture drama, Spiral Staircase, starring Dorothy McGuire in her original role of Helen.
Oh, golly, Helen, Sunday school's all right, but I wish they'd treat us like women, my golly.
They make us skip the book of Ruth and the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's.
Especially that. My golly, it's in the Bible.
Oh, it's beautiful. My beloved spoke and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone.
Oh, what's wrong with that, I'd like to know.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And St. Elmo's fire. What's wrong with reading St. Elmo? Now, if you ask me, I think that this is one that... Oh, my golly, a fire on Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, let's follow it. Helen, run. Oh, Helen! Helen, it's your house! There's your mother in the window!
Mother! Daddy!
It's no use. It's no use. You
I'm
can't get
sorry.
out. It's no
I'm
use.
going inside. Let me go. Let me go. Oh, Mother!
Hush, child. Don't cry. Don't speak. There's no need to now. It's all over, my daughter. So hush.
Hush. From that day on, I was never able to speak again. Whenever I tried, I'd hear my mother's voice again. My mother, who died in that fire.
Hush, child. Hush.
I could make people understand me with simple signs, a nod, a shake of my head, pad and pencil. Later, I left my hometown to take domestic work with the Warren family. Professor Albert Warren, his half-brother Stephen, and his stepmother, Mrs. Warren. It was all I wanted. Then, one Friday evening, I was coming home from the village where I had gone to see that newfangled amusement, motion pictures. It was a bleak November dusk, and there was something quite mysterious, a mysterious excitement in town. Something quite terrible. I didn't know what.
Helen? Helen, is that you in the road?
Oh, Dr. Perry. It's the young doctor who likes me, I think.
Helen. Oh, it is you.
Nod and smile, Helen, as though you could speak, but choose to nod and smile as ladies do by choice.
It's good to see you smile. Well, hop in and I'll drive you right on to the Warrens' gatehouse. Here's a hand. Here, up you go. There. Giddy up, Galen. Well, I've missed you, Helen. How have you been, Helen?
Smile and nod. Good.
Good.
Oh, he's missed me, he says.
It wasn't a very nice thing that happened in town on your day off.
Oh, what was it, I wonder?
A young woman, a rather pretty young cripple, was murdered. You know that?
Oh, another one.
I'm telling you because I want you to be very careful about going out after nightfall, that's all.
Oh, he's kind. Could he really like me?
Now tell me, how much longer are you going to stay on at the Warrens?
I know what he means.
You know, you've got to make an effort to get back your voice, Helen.
Oh, he mustn't.
Oh, I know you'd much rather I wouldn't talk about it.
Oh, I would rather.
Not that there isn't a certain beauty and grace in your stillness. You're not mute, you're still, but somehow eloquent.
Oh, I love him so.
And everything you think is in your eyes, Helen. Good night, Helen. Be careful.
Oh, thunder! Hurry! Only a few more yards to the house. Rattle a stick on the picket fence. My kind of whistling in the dark. Crippled girl murdered? Why? Who? Faster, faster! Run!
Oh, it's you, Helen.
Professor Warren, he looks worried or angry.
I'm glad you're here, Helen. You're to go up to see my stepmother. She's feeling worse again. Thank you, Helen. Thank you.
Where have you been, Helen? It's late.
Oh, she never remembers. My night out.
Oh, put that eternal pencil and pad away. Never mind.
Oh, she's ill. She doesn't mean to hurt.
I hoped you were never coming back tonight.
What? Why? What can she mean?
Helen, run away. If you know it's good for you, run away.
What is she saying?
Leave this house tonight.
Helen, Mother,
Oh, don't call me Mother, Albert.
a most shocking thing has happened in town.
There's been another murder.
Why, how would you know?
Yes, how?
How do you know, Albert?
Why, the constable was just here. Very curious. I'm mentioning this in Helen's presence for good reasons. Every one of those murdered girls had some kind of, affliction.
Affliction.
Yes, the servant girl had a bad scar. The second one was wrong in the head.
This one limped.
Albert, where's Stephen?
Stephen?
Has Stephen come in yet?
Why?
Answer me,
No. Why?
because there's the rain. He'll be drenched, that's why.
I want Helen to be especially careful for the next few days.
He's good too. Kind and thoughtful and good.
Helen, if you see anything at all outside this house that makes you suspicious, I want you to tell me.
Yes, nod yes. Thank you.
I have some dictation to give Blanche on my book. Remember what I told you, Helen. And don't trust anyone.
Helen, pack your things and leave.
Leave? What? No, why? Where? No.
You may shake your head off if you like, but leave tomorrow. Meanwhile, there's a gun in my dressing room, and...
No, I'm afraid of guns.
Oh, stop shaking your head at me, girl. Stop contradicting me. You're in danger here. Do you want...
Oh, it's an attack.
Dr. Perry! Get me Dr. Perry! Hurry! Stephen?
Yes, Mother, I just got in.
Drenched, his shoes coated with mud.
Where's Dr. Perry?
On the way, Mother.
There's been another murder.
Oh, has there?
Oh, why didn't you stay in Paris?
Don't you want me to be with you, Mother?
Where were you tonight?
Well, if you must know.
I must know, yes.
She knows something.
I was out walking with Blanche.
No.
Blanche, Professor Warren's secretary, they both love.
I think the professor will want to talk to you, Stephen.
About the murder?
I know, Stephen, about Blanche, his secretary.
Very well, Mother.
It's quiet now. We're waiting for Dr. Perry to arrive. It's quiet now, but the professor and Stephen have had a dreadful quarrel about Blanche. She's very pretty and no afflictions, and so men quarrel over her. Stephen and the professor hate each other, and it's so terrible. Both, after all, had the same father. Dr. Perry.
You know, Dr. Perry, you look a little like my husband.
Oh, really, Mrs. Warren?
Yes.
Was he kind too? Her
He had
husband?
assured,
Gentle and
strong
kind to girls
hands.
with afflictions?
nice eyes.
Well, I'm flattered, thank you.
He always told me I wasn't as beautiful as his first wife, but that I was a much better shot.
She has a gun in this very room.
Yes, the beauty my husband admired was the beauty of strength and of character. Both of his sons were weaklings, Stephen and the professor.
I'm weak too, afflicted.
Dr. Perry, you love Helen. If you love her, and I know you do, get her out of this house.
Mrs. Warren,
Get her out of this house while it's still time. Do you hear me? Do you? Do you?
Helen, brandy, quickly.
Brandy, Brandy, I've looked everywhere. None in the pantry, none in the closet. I went into the study to find Professor Warren. Brandy, Brandy.
Write that out, Helen, will you?
Yes. B-R-A-N-D.
Brandy!
Yes, Brandy, yes.
I'll have to fetch a bottle from the cellar. Get Mrs. Oates out of the kitchen. Tell her to come with me and bring a candle. Hurry, girl.
Mrs. Warren is resting again. Mrs. Oates is back in the kitchen in a stupor from the brandy she managed to steal when she went down into the wine cellar with the professor. Blanche stays in her room. I wait in the parlor while Dr. Perry gives Professor Warren some instructions.
Helen,
Oh, Dr. Perry, looking so very tired.
I want to talk to you.
Oh, he
here.
mustn't apologize.
Here, sit next to me.
Oh, he mustn't try to explain that it was Mrs. Warren and not he who said he loved me. I understand.
I've been thinking things over, Helen. Mrs. Warren is right.
He says Mrs. Warren is right.
You should come away with me tonight.
Oh, he does love me.
You can stay at my mother's house until I take you to Boston to see a specialist.
Oh, afflicted.
Helen, the Favors on Pepper Street have an out-of-town guest, Betty Lindstrom.
Betty Lindstrom.
She went to Sunday school with you years ago.
Sunday school. Betty Lindstrom.
She tells the story about a young girl walking home from Sunday school one day.
No.
When she wasn't far from home, she heard a fire engine rushing down the street. It was her own home wrapped in flames, her mother and father trapped inside, and she tried to scream.
Mother.
Scream, Helen.
Oh, I can't.
Scream. Try.
I'm trying.
Keep trying.
Trying. Yes, Mother.
Hush.
Yes.
Helen, you can speak. Speak. Helen? Helen? I'm sorry, I was trying to help you.
I know. He's so good.
Oh, Helen, I think that... Oh, that must be for me, Helen. I left this number for the Wilsons. Their boy is very sick. Here, I'll write the Wilsons' telephone number on your notepad. 189.
189.
Have Mrs. Oates call me there if you need me. And now, if you go to the door with me, I'll take that as a sign that you forgive me. It's a wretched night, but the rain is over.
Nod yes.
Oh, smile, Helen, please.
Smile.
That's better. Thank you.
Thank me.
Now, be sure and lock the door, won't you? And don't open it for anyone but me.
But before he went,
Good night, Helen.
he kissed me. He kissed me. He wants me to come away with him. He kissed me. How was it long ago? In the Bible? In the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's? My beloved spoke and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away with me, for lo, the winter is past.
Oh, it's a wretched night, but the rain is over.
The rain is over and gone. The flowers appear from the earth. The time of singing is come.
Rise, my love, and let me see thy countenance.
He loves me. He loves me.
Let me see thy face. Let me hear thy voice. For sweet, sweet is thy voice, and thy countenance is company. Let me hear thy voice. Let me hear thy voice.
Hush, daughter. Hush. Hush.
You're listening to the Screen Directors Playhouse presentation of The Spiral Staircase, starring Dorothy McGuire in her original role of Helen, the mute girl, and John Daner as Dr. Perry.
Dr. Perry has been gone almost an hour, and now a second bitter quarrel in the house. Stephen in Blanche's room next to mine, raising their voices, Blanche crying, Stephen taunting her, laughing.
Suppose someone sees you in my room, especially the professor.
Crying, my dear Blanche, makes no impression on me whatever. I like to see women cry. It makes me feel so superior.
I'm not going on with you anymore, Stephen. We can't hide our feelings from the professor any longer.
Just why should we hide our feelings from my stepbrother? Oh, I forgot. You did have a certain interest in him.
Oh, you are a beast.
Now, Blanche.
Get out. I'm leaving tonight. The better to wash my hands of you.
As you wish, Blanche, but you'll regret this. I honestly think you're going to regret this most seriously.
Blanche has left her room and gone down to get her suitcases out of the cellar. I'd be afraid to go down there alone. It's very dark in the cellar. There's a spiral staircase that goes round and round into the dust and the damp and the darkness. Round and round into darkness.
Oh, I'm sorry if I disturbed you, Helen. Do you know where Blanche is?
Blanche? Isn't she up from the cellar yet?
Helen, I'm speaking to you. Would you please find Blanche? I want her to take some dictation in my study. At once.
The spiral staircase, going round and round, down into darkness, into the dark, the damp, the shadows. Blanche. Where's Blanche? It's been almost an hour. Blanche! Dead! Murdered! Who could have... Stephen!
Dead?
Not yes, yes, dead, yes.
All right. It's all right. Let me handle this, Helen. Do you understand what I mean?
I could dash for the door.
Helen, answer me. Do you understand what I say?
Dash for the door, open it. Slam it, bolt it outside.
Helen! Helen! Helen!
Helen, what happened? You're terrified.
Pencil, lost pencil, pencil.
We'll find a pencil? Here, right.
Right, yes, right.
Blanche.
Yes, M-U-R-D-E-R.
What in heaven's name are you... Do you know who did it?
Yes, S-T-E-P-H-E.
Stephen?
Yes.
Of course.
What does he say? Of course.
Helen, where is Stephen now?
Locked in cellar.
Oh. Helen?
Why does he look at me like that?
Helen? Look there. In the mirror.
Mirror?
Go on. Look at yourself, Helen.
Why does he do this?
You have no mouth.
No mouth? I know what he means, but why should he say it so cruelly?
No mouth, Helen. And in all this world, there is no room for imperfection.
He's so strange.
We're alone, Helen. Mrs. Oates is very drunk because I purposely let her steal a bottle of brandy when we went downstairs before. My stepmother is helpless in her bed. You have just locked Stephen in the cellar. Blanche is dead.
He is the killer.
Blanche, whom I loved, who betrayed me with Stephen, is dead. I killed her.
He's mad.
A pity father didn't live to see me become strong, to see me dispose of the weak and the imperfect in this world.
Escape.
I put on these leather gloves.
Escape where?
Father would admire me for what I am about to do.
Oh, I know. The gun in Mrs. Warren's room. Escape. I'm not so imperfect as he thinks. I run like the wind, climb the stairs to Mrs. Warren's room like a cat, slam the door and bolt it in his face. Gun, pencil, right, gun. Wake up, Mrs. Warren, wake up, wake. Oh, please, please wake up. Her eyes are opening now. Read, gun, the gun. Where is the gun?
Gun? What gun?
Helen!
She knows where the gun is. She must know.
Helen!
Oh, it's no use. It's no use. She's drugged or poisoned. It's the door downstairs. Someone's outside. The professor will have to answer, and then I can steal downstairs again, down the spiral staircase. Free Stephen, and get Stephen to help me. Yes. Round and round, down and round, into the darkness, the shadows, softly, softly, soft. A foot. I saw a shoe drop back into the shadows under the last spiral. The professor, waiting. Turn, softly, go back, softly, step, 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 and run!
Ellen, I want to help you.
Stop!
Thank God, Mrs. Warren at the top of the steps.
Stop where you are,
Mrs. Warren,
both of you.
she has the gun. But why does she point it at both of us?
Now, Mother.
No, only your stepmother, whom your father always taught never to waste a single shot. You murderer. It was you who killed all those girls. I thought it was Stephen. You always waited until Stephen came home to cast suspicion on him. Never waste a shot, your father taught me. Never a shot. Helen girl, better get me Dr. Perry.
Number, please. Number, please.
Hush, daughter. Hush.
You see, Helen, you have no mouth.
You must leave this house, Helen.
Let me see thy countenance, let me hear thy voice.
Number, please.
You have no mouth.
Let me hear thy voice.
Number, please.
Thy voice.
No mouth.
Thy voice.
No mouth.
Thy voice.
No mouth.
Number, please. Number, please.
1, 8, 9.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Perry.
This is Dr. Perry. Who is this?
It's me,
Who?
Helen.
Helen? Helen, darling, what's happened? Wait, I'm coming right over.
Darling, he said, darling. My beloved spoke and said unto me, Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away with me. Arise, and let me hear thy voice.
And so ends our first play of this season's Riverside Township radio players. For a lady who couldn't talk, poor Helen had a lot to say, didn't she? For that, we have to thank our own Judy Marsh. Dr. Perry, the doctor who always had Helen's best interests at heart, tonight was played by Walt Kovalik. Now, as for that Warren family, what a bunch. First of all, that gun-toting matriarch who was taught never to waste a single shot was Sue Gadzinski. Her rather dysfunctional stepson, Albert, who evidently did not learn much in pursuit of his professorship and had evil through and through, was played by Jay Summerfield. While the part of his half-brother, Stephen, was read by Dave Sanchi. Others in tonight's cast were the childhood friend, Betty Lindstrom, as played by Donna Amsmeyer. The radio operator, Sue Kovalik. And the man with the huge part, shouting for help during the fire, Roger Morris. While the dual role of Blanche, the secretary, and the hushing mother was covered by Ellie Babka. We must give an extra round of thanks to our sound man for keeping him busier than usual tonight. Thank you, Marty McNulty. We regret to inform you that we were unable to reach one more cast member, that of Mrs. Oates, the housekeeper. We fear she's still snookered up somewhere, sleeping off the brandy. So be it. My role was that of the announcer, and I am Andre Dixon. In the words of Alfred Hitchcock, we shall now take a moment in preparation for our next play. In the meantime, here is tonight's director, Ellie Babka.
We should now hear the music. Dum dum da 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 dum ba